For decades, the name Seagal meant one thing: stoic, bone-crunching, Hollywood action. He was a master of Aikido who became an icon of a specific, brutal brand of cinematic justice. But the next chapter of that legacy isn't being written on a movie set. It's being forged inside a wrestling ring, under the brightest lights in sports entertainment. This is the story of what happens when the daughter of a legendary action hero, a woman who was told her dreams were shattered, secretly trains with a wrestling god to forge her own path. This is the story of how Steven Seagal's daughter defied every odd to become one of the most talked about new wrestlers in the world. You might have seen the wild rumors online, stories of a shocking debut on Monday Night Raw, of a dominant champion being dismantled in a way nobody saw coming. The truth, however, is even more compelling. While Arissa LeBrock hasn't appeared on WWE television yet, the real story of her journey, a story of crushing setbacks and a remarkable comeback, is why the entire wrestling world is buzzing with anticipation. This isn't just another second-generation superstar story. This is a comeback tale so improbable it feels like it was ripped from one of her father's movie scripts. To understand the hype surrounding Arissa LeBrock, you first have to understand the world she was born into. She is the daughter of not one, but two icons. Her father, Steven Seagal, is the martial arts master whose name was synonymous with a generation of action films. He wasn't just an actor. He was a legitimate 7th Dan black belt in Aikido, a man who brought a terrifying authenticity to his roles. Her mother is Kelly LeBrock, the supermodel and actress who defined an era with films like Weird Science. Arissa was born into a world of Hollywood action and high-fashion elegance. With a lineage like that comes an inescapable shadow. The easiest path was to follow in her mother's footsteps, and for a time, she did. Arissa built a successful career as a plus-size model, appearing in magazines and even on the reality show Growing Up Supermodel. But beneath the surface, a different fire was burning. The world of high fashion was a legacy she inherited, not one she built. A call to something more visceral was echoing in her mind, the Seagal, half of her DNA. She wasn't content just being the beautiful daughter of famous parents. She felt a pull towards the raw physicality of combat and knew that to truly find herself, she would have to carve her own path, not with a camera flash, but with the sweat and sacrifice of the training mat. Arissa's rebellion against expectation didn't lead her to a movie set, but to the unforgiving mats of a Brazilian jiu-jitsu dojo. She started training at the renowned Paragon Jiu-Jitsu and Kickboxing Academy in California, a place where your last name means nothing. On the mats, you're not a celebrity's child. You're defined only by your work ethic and your resilience. This was a profound choice. Instead of shying away from her father's legacy, she ran straight toward it, but on her own terms. She chose Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, a discipline focused on grappling and ground fighting, a different language of combat from her father's Aikido. It was here, in the grueling hours of rolling and drilling, that Arissa began to forge her own identity. She wasn't just Steven Seagal's daughter, she was Arissa, a dedicated student earning respect through sheer grit. This journey into BJJ was an act of reclamation, proving to herself that her toughness was not inherited but earned. This newfound identity would soon lead her to an even bigger arena: professional wrestling. With a legitimate BJJ background and a name with box office appeal, the world of professional wrestling seemed like a natural fit. It was the perfect synthesis of her two worlds: the brutal athleticism of her father and the captivating showmanship of her mother. The call finally came from the biggest promotion on the planet, World Wrestling Entertainment. In December 2019, Arissa LeBrock found herself at the WWE Performance Center in Orlando for a tryout. The Performance Center is the gateway to superstardom, a high-pressure factory where athletes are tested to see if they have what it takes. For Arissa, the stakes were astronomical. Reports from the tryout were positive. Her athleticism and genuine combat background were turning heads. Her dream was within arm's reach. During a drill, disaster struck. A mistimed move, an awkward landing, the kind of split-second accident that haunts every athlete. She suffered a devastating injury. While the specifics were kept private, it was severe enough to not just end her tryout, but seemingly her career before it even began. The dream that burned so brightly was extinguished. The calls from WWE stopped. Arissa disappeared from the wrestling radar completely. becoming another what-if story. For nearly 2 years, Arissa existed in a self-imposed exile, battling the demons that come with a career-altering injury. In her own words, she had become comfortable in the darkest, worst place in my life. Many athletes would have walked away, but the fire that drove her to BJJ and to the brink of a WWE contract hadn't been fully extinguished. Then, a phone call changed everything. The call came from a man who understands legacy and comebacks better than almost anyone. The legendary Dustin Rhodes. The son of the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes, Dustin saw a kindred spirit with unfinished business. He invited her to his wrestling school, the Rhodes Wrestling Academy in Texas, offering her a second chance. This was her lifeline. Arissa relocated and dedicated herself to the craft under Dustin's mentorship. He didn't just retrain her body, he helped her heal her spirit. He taught her the intricate psychology of wrestling and helped her weaponize her martial arts skills for the squared circle. Dustin would later rave about her dedication, saying, "She's doing a great job, but this is only the beginning for her." Pretty soon the whole world's going to be talking about Arissa LeBrock. Under his guidance, Arissa was reborn, stronger, smarter, and more dangerous than before. The wild rumors of a Raw debut against Rhea Ripley may be fiction, but Arissa LeBrock did make an official real-world debut. In March 2023, she graduated from the Rhodes Wrestling Academy and competed in its student showcase. It wasn't a massive arena, but an intimate setting in front of a passionate crowd who understood the journey it takes just to step through those ropes. Those who saw it noted her powerful and dominant style, proving she had successfully transitioned her martial arts base into a professional wrestling arsenal. She had overcome the injury, the self-doubt, and the immense pressure of her family name to finally step into the ring on her own terms. The reason the internet so easily believes the fantasy stories is because Arissa LeBrock is no longer a what-if. She is a trained, resilient pro wrestler with a legitimate background and a powerful story. WWE was clearly interested once, and now, with the stamp of approval from a legend like Dustin Rhodes, she's an even more compelling prospect than she was in 2019. The story of Arissa LeBrock is a powerful testament to resilience. It's a journey that took her from the shadow of an impossible legacy through the depths of a career-ending injury and into the tutelage of a wrestling master. She emerged not just healed, but reforged into something new. Her real debut wasn't a fantasy attack on a champion. It was a quiet, triumphant victory over her own circumstances. It was a declaration that she is not defined by her parents or her setbacks. Her journey is a powerful reminder that legacy isn't just what you are given, it's what you are willing to fight to build for yourself. The question is no longer if Arissa LeBrock belongs. The question now is what's next? And who, if anyone, will be able to stop her when she gets there?